Okay, so hello everyone, and thank you for coming to tonight's Family Health Forum. I'm Susan Murray. If you don't know me, I am the Athlete Program Manager here at Special Olympics. That encompasses health and fitness. And tonight I have a guest speaker. His name is Damon Vincent, and he is with Unique Performance and Fitness.
Unique Fitness and Health.
Fitness and Health.
Yes, soon to
Oh,
be Train Unique. We're going to be rebranding to Train Unique soon.
oh, great,
Yeah.
great. So, Damon's going to talk to us tonight about the different fitness aspects to getting healthy, getting some exercise in, how to begin exercising. And when he finishes, we can ask some questions. So, Damon?
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. All right, guys. So I'm super excited to be with you guys tonight. I'm a big fan of Miss Susan and Mr. Charlie and the Special Olympics family, and excited to show you guys a little bit to help you along your journey in Special Olympics. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Uh-oh. Would you allow me to share my screen, Miss Susan? That way I made a presentation for you guys, and I could walk y'all along.
I'm going to make you a co-host.
Awesome. Great. Perfect. All right. See if we can figure this out. Okay. Awesome. I can start at the beginning. All right, guys. So this is supporting healthy lifestyle efforts for our athletes. All right. So my name is Coach Damon Vincent. I'm a CSCS, which stands for Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. I have a pretty vast background that I'm going to kind of give you guys an introduction a little bit so you guys can make sure that you guys can trust me. All right. So I started in the health and fitness field in 2014. I got my certified personal trainer, TRX training certifications through the UFC gym corporate. I had my first MMA fight in 2015. I was a freshman in college at 150 pounds. And then I started doing Unique Fitness in 2015. So we just kind of made our 7th year doing Unique Fitness. I ended up graduating from UL and then getting my CSCS certification in 2018. In 2020, I left my job as a full-time fitness professional at another gym here in town to open up Unique Fitness. And in June 21, I had my professional MMA debut at 145 pounds. And today, October 2022, we have 140 clients at Unique, and I'm now 3-0 in professional mixed martial arts. And the reason I tell you guys that is because I don't just bring my experience and with the things I'm going to tell you guys, I don't just bring that from education, and I don't just bring it from an athlete side. I bring it from both sides, what I have learned from actually doing it, and also sort of what they have to say from the professional standpoint. This is my contact info at the bottom. I'm going to send this this presentation to Miss Susan at I'll send it to her via email tonight. That way she can shoot it out to all you guys. And if y'all have any questions for me at all, you guys can reach me via email, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So today's objectives are to understand the Holy Trinity, what I like to call the Holy Trinity of healthy living, which is training, nutrition, and social and environmental factors, understanding behavior and habit change, going over some nutrition tips, training and physical activity, stress management, and lifestyle tips. And then we'll finish off with a Q&A. All right, so what is the Holy Trinity of behavior train? All right, behavior change. So I have this quote up here. Health is more than the absence of disease. Health is about jobs and employment, education, the environment, and all those things that go into making us healthy. And that's really what I believe, y'all, about training and health and nutrition and fitness. I don't believe that it only happens in the gym. I fully believe that it is a holistic approach, right? This includes training, both resistance training and LIST training, which stands for low intensity steady state, sports and competition, which is what you guys in special do at Special Olympics. I believe it includes nutrition, eating whole foods, using portion control, getting good hydration, and having a healthy relationship with food. And I also believe strongly that it includes stress management, which includes, again, LIST training, going for just a walk outside. It includes your environment. It includes your social and your relational relationships. And also includes just getting outside, which we can also accomplish through Special Olympics. You're going to notice tonight, a lot of things lead back to, of course, presenting to you guys. So a lot of things are going to lead back to the Special Olympics, right? So first thing we want to talk about is training. All right. This is the first aspect, and I think the main aspect that everybody is here for tonight. So you see this quote at the top. People say working out is dangerous, but no, being weak is dangerous, especially if you're going to participate in a sport or a competition through Special Olympics. We have to train for it, right? You have to do not only your sport training, but you have to do resistance training. What is resistance training? Resistance training and athletic movements are key to building muscle and losing fat and hitting your body composition goals, right? So they're also key to our athletic performance as it prepares our body to undergo the stresses of sports and competition, right? So there's two aspects here to resistance training and why it's so important. It prepares the actual muscles, the actual ligaments and tendons that make up your muscles and your skeletal muscular system. It prepares those so that you can stay injury free, but it also allows you to do your sport better, right? What kinds of athletes do we have in the group tonight? What kind of sports are you guys doing?
I did horseshoes.
Horseshoes, nice. What else?
I
Anybody
do
else?
bowling.
Bowling, nice. Anybody else?
I do bocce.
Bocce, nice. Anything else?
Swimming.
Swimming. Swimming's a great one. Great. So
Mikey's doing swimming 2 hours a day and
Hey.
1 hour in the gym.
Oh man, that's amazing. Who's that? Who's Mike?
That's Mikey Love.
Man, what a beast. That's awesome. So it sounds like Mike has a great opportunity. Sorry, Mr. Charles, go ahead.
No, I was just listening.
Okay, great. So yeah, so that's the beauty of training, is that not only does it prepare your body for swimming, is a great one, right? If we can build some muscle and lose some body fat, then we're going to be able to swim a little bit faster. But
Yep.
if we continue to look at it from an athletic performance point of view, then we could have that motivation in the gym. I want to beat my last time. I want to beat my last time in swimming. I want to bowl a little bit more accurate, a little bit harder. I mean, I need to bowl a little bit harder. We can use that for our motivation when resistance training to get stronger and get leaner, right? So what is resistance training? Resistance training is movements like squats, deadlifts, push-ups, rows, sit-ups, jump roping, anything that taxes the muscles, right, would be considered resistance, where you actually have something that's resisting you. It can be body weight squats, right? But if we may need some weights for the upper body stuff. We can do push-ups, but we may need some weights to do pull-ups or bicep curls or rows, right? So we have to challenge the muscles. And why is that? It's because of the afterburn effect that you can see at the bottom. Whenever you resistance train, we actually make little micro tears in our muscles. And what it does is it forces our bodies to rebuild those muscles over time. And it actually increases our calorie burn, our caloric intake, right? So if you notice, after your hard workout, you may be kind of sore. That's those little mini tears, right? And if you're sore, your body is still recovering, which is a good thing. It means that the food that you're eating is being used to rebuild those muscles. So that's why resistance training is super, super important and should be the pillar of our workouts in Special Olympics, for Special Olympics. All right. let's move on to the second aspect of training, which is what I call LISS, which stands for low intensity steady state. All right. As a quote at the top, the most important thing you can do for yourself is to just walk outside every day. Right. So LISS would include biking, walking, swimming, rowing, shooting light shooting basketball, light basketball game, throwing frisbee, anything that's pretty low intensity is gonna fall under LISS. Your heart rate really shouldn't get above 70% of your max. Easy way to measure this is you should be able to talk to somebody. You should be able to hold a conversation here. If you're working so hard that you can't breathe, that's a little bit different heart rate zone. And for what we're trying to do here, we want to be able to hold a conversation. This is going to keep us in what we call the aerobic cardiovascular zone, right? What this is also important for, are the two things that this is important for, is one, preventing health conditions like heart disease, diabetes, high cholesterol, all those things. This low intensity steady state cardio is important for that. Also, very important for you guys, it is the base of all our other fitness markers that will allow us to enjoy your sport to the best of your ability, right? So when you go for walks and you bike and you walk and you swim and you work your heart out, which is a muscle. When you work that out, it allows you to play and perform a little bit longer, right? So you can swim more without getting tired. You can bowl more without getting tired. You can play bocce more without getting tired because your base of fitness is higher, right? So if there's one thing that I can encourage you guys to do for your Special Olympics training, it would definitely be this. All right. And the third aspect, the sport and competition aspect. This is a super fun one, right? So that's why you guys are here. You guys are part of Special Olympics. You guys are athletes, right? Sport and competition is what keeps us young, wild, and free, right? So I like to look at sport and competition training as actually exactly that. One, to have a sport, and two, have a competition, right? Recreational or off season can be seen as a sport, and the competition or in season is like the actual day that you're competing, right? So here's an example. I just had my last fight in July, right? And I'm 3-0, and my body's kind of beat up, and I've been working really hard, but I'm still training, right? So what am I doing? I'm focused on developing my skills and just having fun, just getting a good workout in without worrying about how good I'm doing or anything like that. I'm just showing up and I'm practicing and I'm using it to have fun, right? You can swim and you can bowl and you can play bocce just for the fun of it, right? If maybe it's not Special Olympic season, but you still want to train, you still want to do it, you can do it just for the fun, right? The other side of it is if you have a competition coming up and you consider yourself like training for that competition, right? That's when we might want to take it a little bit more seriously, right? But this is still part of your fitness, right? Because you're still working, right? And then lastly, you can also play a sport you are competing in to get a different type of stimulus in. For example, when I'm getting ready for an MMA competition, I run. And I'm not competing in running, but it's a different stimulus than the training that I do every day, and it helps me. I lift weights, right? It's preparation for the sport, right? If you're getting ready for a swimming competition, you can ride your bike or walk or jog to prepare if you can't go to the pool that day, right? Let's say you go to the pool on Tuesdays or Thursdays. Well, you can walk or jog or run on the other off days to help your body prepare for that and get a little bit something different. Does that make sense to everyone? Good. All right. So those are our three types of training, guys. Resistance training, LISS training, biking, walking, swimming, and sport training. All right. Special Olympics sports. Before we move on to our next section, do we have any thoughts or comments or questions about training?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How would yoga fit in one of those three categories?
Fantastic question. So yoga is actually what I would consider I would consider it in resistance training, because there's some pretty intense holds and whatnot that you do in there. However, I would actually consider yoga would be more like recovery based, right? So depending on how hard you're pushing in your yoga session, if it's more like poses and holds, that's going to be resistance training, because I've done some of that yoga, and that stuff, man, it'll burn you up, right? If you sweating and you're doing all these poses and holds and you are working muscles, that's resistance training. If it's more of a yoga flow or a stretch, like cobra poses and down dog poses and just more of a stretch, that would be considered recovery.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It's perfect because he does the stretching and yoga poses before he does his workout and his sports, and then he cools down doing the yoga stretches again at the end.
Perfectly. Okay. That's exactly right. So one thing to keep in mind, you don't want to do too much stretching before training.
Right.
This is kind of getting in deep to it, but there was a study that came out a while back. Muscles are basically just series of rubber bands. And when you stretch them for too long, they lose their ability to recoil and snap back. Right. And we want that aspect when we're training. So we want to do like movements and dynamic movements, but not too many holds. Just flow.
Correct. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sounds like you guys got a great regimen going. That's awesome. Anybody have any other comments or any other implementation? Anybody going to take anything from this and put it in their training? All right. Well, let's keep it on moving then. All right. So next part, this is the really, really fun part. This is the nutrition aspect of living a healthy lifestyle. All right. So I have a quote at the top that says, "Let medicine be thy food and food be thy medicine." So sorry about that, guys. There's 4 aspects of nutrition that I'm going to talk about, just to kind of give you guys an overview. The first one is whole foods, balance and portion control, hydration, and food and health, having a healthy relationship with food, right? Let's talk about whole food. These are kind of in the order of importance for me. So let's talk about whole foods. The basis of a diet are things that fuel our body to make us feel good. And I should have added perform well for you athletes. All of you guys are athletes, right? So this means choosing foods closest to their natural state, right? Some examples of this are a chicken breast, just a plain old chicken breast right off the chicken, is better than chicken nuggets, right? It's not breaded. It hasn't been processed nearly as much, right? Rice, plain old rice that's in a bag, is better than pasta. It's been processed a whole lot less, right? Rice is the perfect meal before your workout because it's going to give you the fuel you need, right? Fresh fruit is better than canned fruit. Why? It's in its natural state. All the preservatives and whatnot haven't been added to it to make it stay fresh, right? Oranges are better than orange juice. Yes, they squeeze some oranges in the orange juice, but they also added a bunch of sugar and preservatives and stuff like that, right? So you guys can kind of see how this side on the left is a lot more natural and less modified, and this is what's important, right? However, I do like to use healthy substitutes and some fun stuff, because I'm not going to ask you guys to eat chicken breast and rice every single day, right? Nobody, I'm not going to ask you guys to do that. That's not how we hit our goals. You're going to get burnt out, right? So there's some ways that we can implement these whole foods into our lifestyle to make it fun, right? One of my favorite ways to do that is cauliflower crust. Who here loves pizza? Say aye. Everybody should be saying aye. Everybody loves pizza, right? So you can substitute regular old pizza with cauliflower crust pizza, right? And that takes a lot of the extra calories and a lot of the processed wheat out and substitute it with cauliflower, right? A lot of things like that we can do, right? We can also seek low carb and sugar-free options, which I'm going to talk about here later, right? So one thing we really want to watch out for, guys, is there's some seemingly healthy things that are actually unhealthy, like Gatorades and orange juice are the two biggest ones. It is one of the first thing we do when somebody joins Unique Fitness. They bring a Gatorade in, and I love that because they got the electrolytes in it, but a lot of people don't realize how much sugar they sneak into these Gatorades, especially the big ones. They'll have somewhere between 30 and 40 grams of sugar, right? Whereas we could just get the Gatorade Zero and still get those electrolytes we need, right? Orange juice is another one. It's a fruit juice, and apple juice, so we think it's healthy, but they sneak so much sugar in there that it actually hurts us as far as our body composition goals go. All right. And another one like this is I can't believe it's not butter, right? Real butter is less processed and better for you than fake butter is, right? So we want to watch out for these things and look at the labels, guys, and do our research before we go too far into it, right? What are some whole foods that you guys are eating right now? Anybody go first.
Asparagus.
Nice, very good.
Squash.
What's that, Kate?
Squash.
Squash, nice one, good.
Broccoli.
What was
Mikey
that?
is eating, huh? Mikey's eating Brussels sprouts and broccoli every day.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Good. What had you said, John Deja?
Broccoli.
Broccoli, yummy. Good, guys. Awesome. So you guys are getting your vegetables in. That's fantastic. Is everybody getting a good base? Well, actually, great. Segment to the next one. So the second aspect of nutrition is balance and portion control, right? So I have this quote up here. Obesity is not a disease. It's a lifestyle affliction. It's a symptom. It is a side effect of poor habits, and it can be reversed. I know that's not a fun quote for us always to hear, but guess what it does? It gives us control. It gives us the accountability that we need to continue pushing forward and making the choices that we need to make. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not sure if y'all can see that. So balance and portion control is a huge aspect, right? And what's so fun about this, guys, is that there is no perfect diet. There's no perfect diet out there. Rather, it's a lifestyle of balanced nutrition. So I want you guys to think a lot more about balance than diets, than the keto diet, right? Who here has heard of the keto diet? Say aye.
All right.
Aye.
It can be tempting. It can be tempting because we hear about this diet and we want to jump on it, right? But the best thing that we can do for our bodies, especially as athletes, is have a balanced diet that consists of micronutrients and macronutrients, right? So this is a super fun comparison and something that we want to keep in mind whenever we're making choices, right? And it's fun. I'll kind of give you the two schools of thought after I tell you about them. So micronutrients is considered vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. So when you think of broccoli, that's got a lot of nutrients in it. Spinach, strawberries, oranges got a lot of vitamin C. These things are super important to help our immune system, our digestive system, all the things that we need to be healthy and feel good, right? So micronutrients. On the other hand, we have macronutrients. Macronutrients are what you see on food labels: proteins, carbs, and fats, right? Carbs, you have your sugars and your regular carbs, and fats, you have a bunch of different fats too. But we want to have a balance of these proteins, carbs, and fats because each one plays a critical role in all body functions, right? So we have equal proteins, carbs, and fats. And then what do? We try and reduce sugar and trans fats as much as possible, right? This is super important for body composition goals, right? So there has to be a relationship between these two at all times, right? So bananas, for example, they have a lot of potassium in it, which is super great. However, bananas can tend to be a little bit higher in sugar. So do we want to eat 3 bananas a day? No, probably not. That might be a little bit much, right? Peanut butter. Peanut butter has healthy fats in it. That's extremely important for hormone function and producing the hormones that we need. However, do we want to have, 4 or 5 spoons of peanut butter throughout the day? No, that's a lot of calories, right? So we need to constantly be balancing these things of micronutrients and macronutrients. And the marriage of these two is what makes a great athlete and makes a healthy person, right? And then in conjunction with that, we want to make sure we're being smart with our portion control, right? My rule is I'll have 1 plate per meal, and I'll wait a couple minutes to make sure I'm not still hungry. Now, if I'm at mama's house on a Sunday and she cooked the rice and gravy, I understand. You got to do what you got to do, right? But we want to have one plate, wait a little while. Okay, I'm good. I'm actually not hungry. I just thought I was hungry, right? And if we're still hungry later, we can have a snack without going back and get a second plate, right? So these are some rules. These are the kind of the rules that we want to follow with portion control. So tell me, how does everybody feel about their mix of micronutrients and macronutrients?
I think everybody could do better. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. So tell me, especially from our athletes and from our participants and parents, tell me, do you guys have any thoughts on how we can improve making sure either macros are balanced or micros are getting in?
What we have done, and since Michael started college now, we are doing meal preps.
Nice.
And we labeled the days of the week, and we even meal prep his snacks rather than him eating from the vending machine.
Very good.
And we've been doing this since he started school, and he's already lost 10 pounds.
Wow.
Wow. Way to go, Mike.
I know. And then he's cut out sodas. He's Mikey is doing some intense training for a competition next summer.
Man,
but he's making all these changes now, and it's just not just something that he wants to do just for that. He says, Mama, I got to do this now because I got to get this, little weight off that I got and things that I want to eat like this. So when he's out in public and he doesn't have a meal, he is making those better choices.
That's so good to hear. Great. Good for you guys. So
well, I've lost 12. He lost 10. So we're doing good.
Congratulations, guys. Bailey and Kate and Jay, what kind of thoughts do you guys have?
Well, I'm on a special diet. I cannot have no raw vegetables, raw fruits.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what why is that?
I have what's called gastroparesis.
Ah, very good. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you guys are working on that. So one thing, Bailey, that we can do, because, to supplement what we're not getting from our fruits, is we can take a multivitamin, right? There's always ways around these things, right? So if you want to still get your vitamins, your antioxidants, your fiber, you can actually go to CVS or Walgreens or online and get a multivitamin, and it would help you to supplement for some of those things that you're losing out on. So Kate and Jay, what about y'all?
Well, I had eggs for my protein this morning.
Very good.
Very good.
And a little bit about my dad's seafood casserole, which is like carbs.
Of course. Yeah. Good. Man, you know your stuff, Kate. That's great. Yeah. And it's okay. You can have that, just not too much. Very good. And Jay, what about you?
You talking to me, Coach Damon?
Yes, ma'am.
I've started watching like how much I eat because I noticed that would be my problem. Like I don't feel like I drink a lot of I don't drink a lot of sodas, but I noticed that I need to drink more water and stuff.
For sure.
Because I won't do it.
Great call.
So I have a water bottle by my bed every night, and then I try to refill my water bottle as soon as it's empty.
Nice. Well, guys.
So I know that's there, and I'll just drink it as the day goes.
Look at the next slide, guys. We're on the same page. So the next slide is actually about hydration. Water is the only drink for a wise man, guys. All right. So our bodies are made up of 70% water, which is a crazy fact, but it's true, scientifically proven. Crazy fact. Water is super important for us, especially for all the major functions happening in our body: digestion, brain function, and especially important here in South Louisiana, sodium regulation, right? Which is extremely important for our outdoor sports, right? What we want to do is we want to try and have a water bottle at all times and just sip water throughout the day. My wife bought me this big insulated water bottle. It's got a cover on it because I'm clumsy and I spill it all the time. and it just goes with me everywhere. And I have it on me all the time. And I'm just constantly sipping water. And what you'll notice is it's really hard to start because you're like, oh my gosh, I got to pee all the time. But it's going to happen. But what happens after a few weeks is if you're not sipping water all the time, your mouth is just constantly dry. And it just becomes a habit. So once you start the habit, it's really an easy one to maintain. You just have to have a water bottle on you at all times. All right. So here's an important one, guys, for hydration. So I actually have a disorder called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which basically means my adrenal glands don't work and my body doesn't regulate sodium well. And I can get dehydrated extremely quickly. And I know a lot of people in our community have similar adrenal gland insufficiency and stuff like that, right? So a lot of times extra electrolytes are needed, right? But guys, we have to stay away from full sugar Gatorades, Body Armor, Powerades, all even like Pedialyte, like those things, guys, they are marketed so well as sports drinks, but they are not for athletes, guys. All right. We need to stick to Gatorade Zero. There's a brand out there called Limit, LMNT, and it's electrolytes and all the good stuff with none of the sugar. And these things are not only going to help you keep your body composition, your weight in check, but also going to help you feel better through your workouts and your training and your sports because you don't have all that sugar in you. All right. And one thing I wanted to add in here, if you love sodas, I love Sunkist, guys. All right. Love Sunkist. So they started making Sunkist Zero. I'll have a Sunkist Zero every couple days. Right. And yes, it's a soda. And no, I don't want to have them every day or throughout the day. But if I really want a soda and I'm having a hard time giving them up, I can go to a Zevia or a Zero soda to help me bridge that gap. All right. All right. And the last aspect of nutrition, guys, this is more of a mindset thing. This one's really important. All right. Food is fuel. All right. It's really important for us to have a healthy relationship with food. I think that especially being in Louisiana, we place a high value on getting together with family and having parties and all those things. And that's all great. And I do all the same things. I love to eat just as much as anybody, as the next person. However, we have to have a relationship with food that is for the right reasons. All right. We eat to fuel our bodies for a living, for activities and sports. But sometimes we can eat for the wrong reasons and that's when we tend to take in too many extra calories and lead to weight gain, right? What are some of those things? You ever notice when you're really stressed, you tend to snack, right? Because you're stressed. You need something to kind of take your mind off of it.
Yes.
We tend to go to the pantry and eat something, right? When you're bored, you're like, I don't have anything to do. We tend to go to the pantry or get. When we're anxious or nervous and we just kind of need something to do with our hands and with our bodies, we tend to eat, right? And I understand that everybody has to have their way to cope, but as athletes, we have to be mindful of these things and try to have different ways to deal with what we're going through, right? And that's both on the athlete side and also just on learning to process those emotions and learning to do things in a healthy way, right? So next time you're stressed, guys, you're bored or you're anxious or you're nervous and you find yourself wanting a snack or wanting to go to the pantry, go for a walk or listen to some music instead. I am willing to bet that you're going to feel a little bit better after that walk and after that music and not need to eat, right? So has anybody else noticed that they do this? I do this often, especially after a crazy day at work.
All the time.
Good to hear.
All the time.
Well, try my tip. Try my tip and see if it helps. All right, guys. Well, let's move on to one of my favorite. I think this is probably my favorite part. A good way to overcome. Oh shoot, I can't see it. What does it say? A good way to overcome stress is to help others out of theirs, right? So I love this slide because Special Olympics is such a special community, right? And you guys have such a special thing to be a part of. And I have such a special thing to be a part of. And that's why I want to talk about it today, right? So the reason we have stress and management and lifestyle in here is because it's really like let's say you're doing your sport or your workout. It's an hour to 2 hours of your day, and that's great. But this environmental and social and relational stuff, guys, is 24 hours a day. It is your whole life. It's surrounding you, right? But it's not quite as out there. It's not quite as loud, so you don't realize it. But I'm excited for you guys to kind of notice this a little bit more and see how it affects you, right? So we want to manage stress because on the scientific level, the physiological level, stress releases stress hormones in our body that cannot be good for us, right? Cortisol and all the other stress hormones, right? So one thing that we can do is we can combine our list training. Remember what we talked about a few slides back, a walk or a bike or a run or a swim or a row. We can combine that with sunlight, and y'all, it is so powerful. A 20-minute walk outside can stabilize hormones and boost happy brain chemicals like you would not believe. Like countless studies have been done on it. A 20-minute walk outside, music or not music, and just breathing and taking in the scenery and calming down can do so much for you guys. All right. Specifically for us with our environmental, like I said, we're all so blessed to be a part of Special Olympics and all the other awesome communities that we're in. We are the sum of those we surround ourselves with. All right. We have to be careful about the type of negative environments we expose ourselves to. If we cannot completely eliminate, which I know we can't, right? Some of us have some hard family situations, and that's family, right? It is what it is. But we should try and manage our time spent there and implement techniques that help us deal with that, right? And then social and relational. We are meant to live in a community with people who love us and who support us. We want to surround ourselves with a community moving in the same positive direction that we want to. And again, we're also blessed to have that with our communities, both at Special Olympics and Train Unique. I think we're part of communities that are moving forward, and we're all trying to make ourselves better, right? But I want you to think outside of just Special Olympics and Train Unique, and I want you to think about all the other parts of your day, right? And if you're a part of something that you feel like maybe is not super positive, try and figure out how you can make it more positive, right? And try and figure out how you can make it an environment that's going to grow and that's going to be better. All right. So what are y'all's thoughts on this slide, guys?
I think it's awesome. You have to be well-rounded to manage the stress in your life. Even if you think that you cannot get out of that situation, just at least go outside, listen to music, think good thoughts, look at the flowers, look at the trees, the birds, and just deep breathing, and you can release some of that stress that way too.
Very good. Very nice, Ms. Susan. That's all.
One of the things that the gentleman that I have the privilege of taking care of, we talk about every time we greet each other, we always say something like, don't let nothing or anybody steal your joy. And that's basically what you're talking about right here, is that when some stressful situation comes up, I use the word pause. And that's, to me, it means pray and use your spiritual energy. When you pause, it change. You'll be able to change into the direction you want to go versus the direction that you're headed. And,
right.
And this kind of all fits into everything right here. So,
yes.
Very nice, Ms. Charles. Thank you. Kate, Bailey, and John Deja, Ms. Connie, what do y'all think?
I think it was awesome, especially with the social and relational, because, well, besides Unique Fitness, I do participate in a TR program that's within the community, and they just support me, and with the position that I want to go through.
Very good. That's awesome.
I think it's really true because when I was like moving out of my family, it was stressful. And I feel like that caused me to gain the weight because I was like out of the situation and I was just stressing the whole thing. So it does, I think that rings true that the stress can really make you eat more and do all kinds of stuff you wouldn't, and just getting out. Because today we walked 2 miles,
Oh,
Nice.
like just
good.
down the
Good.
street and back to like just to get out the house because it was just like so just to be in the environment and not be in the same place all the time.
Right. Yeah. So
Good deal.
if I could elaborate and kind of give John Deja some praise. John Deja is a wheelchair user. She's actually part of my Hot Wheels session. And so 2 miles is a big feat, John Deja. So that's awesome.
All
champ.
right, great.
Very good. Okay, Bailey and Miss Connie, what do you guys think?
Oh,
Well,
I thought it was great.
Oh, good.
And I'm
It's
glad I
not
came on to
exercising.
support you, Coach Damon.
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that, girl. Sorry about that, Miss Connie. Go ahead.
It's not it's not Miss Connie. I'm her son. It's Mikey.
Oh, hey, man. What's up, man?
Doing good. So I've not been here. Have the meeting because I was at softball practice.
Nice.
But what I have heard the last few minutes, I really enjoyed this. This actually pretty good.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Well, on that note, do we have any questions? I realized I threw a lot at you guys, and especially on the training side, there's a lot of info here. So what questions do you guys have for me?
So I have a quick question. If I am watching this through our social media posts and I need to start exercising, how would I begin? What would I do? What is my first thing that I should do?
Very good question. So the first thing that they should do is they should reach out to Special Olympics. That way they can find a sport or activity that they think they're going to enjoy, right? And they should sign up for some sort of activity that's either happening right now or that is going to be happening soon. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of give them a direction that they want to go in. It's going to give them something to work towards. After that, then they can start working on their resistance training. Resistance training should be the foundation of their workouts and their training, right? So here's a good workout that they can start with. They can start a full body workout of 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 glute bridges, and 10 supermans. And this is a completely body weight workout, right? Squats is super easy, feet shoulder width apart, dropping down to the floor. Push-ups, hands by the chest. A glute bridge, you would lay flat on your back with your feet close to your butt, and you would pick your butt up, right? That's going to work your hamstrings and your glutes. And then supermans is when you lay flat on your stomach and pick your arms and your feet off the floor, and that's going to work your upper and lower back, right? So that's a great way. This is a full body workout that requires no weights. You can do it in your living room at home and go through that. Do 10 of each and go through it 4 times. And after that, it's going to be a great base to get started with. And then from there, they can start figuring out how they feel, and then they can start to add reps, add weights to that, add some different movements, stuff like that.
I got a question, Damien, for the person that's never exercised and that wants to exercise. What you described in there, would there be an opportunity for you to maybe make a demonstration, or already have a video that you can maybe send to Miss Susan, and she can also post how to best to begin all that type of?
Absolutely. I would love to do that. I actually have a bunch of at-home workouts that I'd love to send you guys, and then I can send you a video demo of going through it as well.
Okay. Perfect. And then my second question, on our Game Changer, you're going to demonstrate some of this and speak about some of the same things?
Absolutely, yes, sir. And we're actually gonna do demos. The way we're going to do it for Game Changer, which I'm really excited about, is we're going to kind of do it for different sports, right? So we'll have a powerlifting, a resistance training, a powerlifting one. We're going to have a field sport one, right? We're going to have an indoor sport, and we'll kind of have different trainings for each of those things. That way you can kind of figure out how you want to train for your sport.
Very good.
So you're gonna have something for track and field also?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. So that would technically be considered like field sports, right? But the dynamic movements that you can do to train for track and field, and prep your muscles and your body for is absolutely going to be in there.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You guys have some track and field athletes?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
John Edward does track and field. He does the running and he does the shot put.
Oh, sweet, man. Well, I can't. Well, actually, he needs to do the resistance training because that's going to be super important for his shot put, and then he needs to do the track and field one for the running and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Can't wait to have y'all.
So if any of y'all don't know what that is, on Saturday, October 22nd from 10 to noon
I'll be there.
at Girard Park in Lafayette, there will be the first and
Yeah.
hopefully more, but the first fitness fest, and I can't remember what you calling it, Mr. Charlie.
The
Game changer.
Game changer fitness extravaganza.
Exactly. Exactly. So we want you to come out, bring your athletes out. If you're not an athlete, you can certainly come and join us and register to become an athlete. Sorry, Damon.
No, it's gonna be a lot of great info out there for everybody. So
it is.
Hey, I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right.
I'm also bringing another friend who's a part of Unique Health and Fitness.
Oh, nice. Who's that?
Stage.
Oh, Paige coming. Oh, great. That's gonna be fun. Be fun. Well, cool, guys. Do we have any other questions? Training, nutrition, sports, any of the stuff? Do you guys have anything else for me?
Nope.
I'm all in.
And I actually wanted to tell you quickly about the therapeutic recreation program that I'm a part of. The instructor Tammy Richard instructs the ongoing free therapeutic classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 to 11:30. It's all free, and also we do, and every people are in wheelchairs as well.
Nice.
Oh,
And
that's
it's at
great.
Girard Park. It's free.
Oh, cool.
And once a month on each first Tuesday and every Thursday, and every third Thursday of each month is bingo. And tomorrow is art day.
Cool.
So if any of y'all want to come and check it out, we would love to have y'all.
Great.
cool.
Thanks.
It's all on the Facebook page. You just search therapeutic recreation.
Nice. Well, hey, I have a quick question for Mikey. What big competition you got coming up, man?
I have a
The big competition.
I have a big competition coming up for softball. It's next weekend.
Awesome.
No.
No.
Mikey, tell that man where you going next year.
Next summer.
Oh, I'm going to Berlin, Germany for swimming.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
Huge, man.
For
Congratulations.
Special Olympics World Games.
Oh my goodness.
congratulations. I'll be rooting for you.
Wow.
That's why the intense diet and exercise.
I'm
Dude.
strictly on chicken. That's all I am.
That's
And
awesome. Man.
keto.
Well, good work, man. Well, I'm proud of you, dude. Make sure you represent well. I know you will, man.
Thank you.
Well, on behalf of Special Olympics Louisiana and our Family Health Forum, I would like to thank Damon Vincent. And if anybody has any more questions, you can stay on after the recording ends and we can certainly ask some more questions.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
y'all so much for having me, Susan.
Bye.
Thank you.